Hello and welcome. This is Leslie Klein, and this is the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every Thursday at 3 o'clock. This is a casual live stream, and as you can see, I'm in some casual clothing because I've been outside working in the garden. So, welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream. Again, I do this every week at 3 o'clock. This is only my third episode, um, but this is a little um, mm, event, show, whatever you want to call it, experience that happens every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's meant to be a casual weekly experience. That's why I'm not worried about looking like this. Um, and it doesn't replace the Good Vibes TV show, which is on Legrity. And I do want to mention that I'm into season 6, which I just premiered episode 2 with Michelle Joy. She is a somatic activated healer and life coach, and she talks about um, her specific methodology that uses movement, that uses meditation and affirmations and her coaching to help release trauma that's held in the body. Did you know that? That our emotional trauma that happens as children and up through adulthood, these we can store emotional trauma in the body, and there are several different ways and techniques to release that, but someone like Michelle would be someone you would want to work with to easily release and do it in such a manner that it's very loving and peaceful. So I encourage you to watch this episode on Legrity TV. You can download the app or go to legrity.tv online and you will find it under Good Vibes TV. So now, in the last couple of weeks, and I will let you know that because I'm using StreamYard, you can comment on Facebook wherever you're at, and I can see your comments and put them on here. So if you have questions throughout this little discussion, please feel free to put your any questions out or any comments. I'd be happy to. Um, post them here and talk about them. So let's talk about what the Good Vibes lifestyle is. Now, this is something that I've kind of made up, right? And, there might be somebody out there that talks about it, but what the good vibes lifestyle means to me is living in the good vibe zone. And what is that? Well, Dr. David R. Hawkins and also Esther Hicks did a couple of scales of emotions. And basically, where we vibrate is where it's how we can tell where we're vibrating is by what emotion are we feeling, what what state are we in. That tells us where we're vibrating. So if you're in a fear state or anger or worry or any of those lower vibrations, you're not in the good vibes zone. And you want to try to step up those emotions as you're able to and get into that good vibe zone because the law of attraction states that like attracts like. So if you're putting out the vibe for good stuff like abundance and joy and prosperity and health and all these good things, right? Oops. Um, then you. You'll attract those things that match that frequency. And that's what the law of attraction basically is all about. So, good vibes lifestyle is about using this knowledge, this law of attraction knowledge, and applying to our lives in practical ways. So, my first tip from a couple of weeks ago was to use a gratitude journal. So, has anyone been using your gratitude? And have you noticed any changes? Because when I use mine on a consistent basis, it totally changes my life. And I have to be honest, I missed a couple of days because we were traveling back up to North Carolina. So I missed a couple of days. So it's always, until something becomes a habit, part of your lifestyle, it, you'll do it for a little bit and then life happens and you forget about it or it doesn't happen and then you just have to get back to it. So you just got to keep keep getting back to it. And that's what these reminders are all about. Okay, so 2 weeks ago was gratitude journal. Last week I talked about breath and breathing and deep, um, 10 beats of a breath in and 10 beats of a breath out. And I found myself, when I have little anxiety thoughts or things that happen, automatically I start doing that. So that's one of the habits that I've been able to, that just automatically happens when I start getting stressed or thinking a stressful thought or something. I automatically go into deep breathing. So that's one tip. And this week's tip for our good vibes lifestyle is, oops, um, movement. So, movement is something that Michelle Joy talks about in her somatic activated healing practice. Movement uh, is one way to remove, to get rid of, to release trauma in the body. But movement is also really important to our bodies because we are physical beings, and we can't just live in the spiritual realm or the emotional and mental realms. We're always in our head, especially if we're on the computer and creating or doing our work on the computer. We are too sedentary, and movement is so important. So my tip is, every, say, hour, put your timer on and remind, and let that be a reminder for you to do some kind of movement. And that could be a movement of putting on a song for 3 minutes and dancing to it. Nobody's watching, who cares, right? Another tip is walking around your house or your building, or taking the dog for a walk, or going for a bike, or doing 20 minutes of yoga. Movement is so important. And, not only does it help with your endorphins, but it gets that oxygen moving, it gets rid of that brain fog, it helps stimulate the energy and chi in your body. And, this is what we need to be healthy, is to move, right? We can't forget about our physical bodies. Movement, what I've been doing lately, because like I said, we have our garden, we're back in North Carolina, and I have a little peace garden. I want to show you my little peace garden. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically in the shape of a peace sign. And this winter, we had like 0 degrees. It was crazy. I'm going to let you see some shots of the mountains behind me. That's the Nantahala um, Gorge is up that way towards Asheville. Anyway, what was my point? The garden. So we're back in the garden, and I've got my peace garden here, and we had 0 degree weather. That was terrible, but it killed a lot of my plants. So what I got to do now is clear the old out, and we're adding new um, uh, soil to the raised bed gardens that I've got here. So we've got to add more soil, and I've got to go to Lowe's with my husband. But I said, nope, I got to do my 3 o'clock live stream today because I am committed to doing it. And since movement was such a, you know, thing that I need to do, when you're working in the garden, you are moving. So, but it's a good thing. It's springtime. It's time to clear out the old, what doesn't serve us. And also, early this morning at 12:30 was the full moon in Libra. So we are in that full moon energy. So it's a great time to release anything that doesn't serve you and focus on what it is you want. Express gratitude for what it is you are manifesting, that either has manifested or is in the process of manifesting. Um, we're in this full moon energy. So sometimes the full moon affects people in different ways. Sometimes it gives them a lot of energy, and sometimes it makes them crazy, and sometimes it makes them really tired. So it just really depends. We're like 70% water, and just like the moon, affects the tides on the planet, it affects us personally. Again, another reason why water is so important. Drinking water, so important. almost as important as breathing, right? So, I want to encourage you to do some extra movement today, whether that's dancing, whether that's taking a walk, walking your dog, doing some gardening. I encourage you this spring, this full moon, do some movement and try to do some movement every day. Set your clock every hour if you want, or every couple of hours to remind you to move, because we just sit too much, and when we sit, we're not as healthy as we could be. And it's just important because we're physical beings. So I'm going to put my website, leslieklein.com, and there you can get a free PDF from me about 11 ways to raise your vibe and thrive. So I want to let you know that I have that there for you. And I also want to encourage you to watch Good Vibes TV on Legrity. And if you have any comments, please put them in the comment box. I don't see anything right now. Um, and yeah, I plan, like I said, on doing these lives every week. And they're casual, so therefore I'm not going to stress over being all dolled up and dressed up and blah, blah, blah. Um, this is more a reminder to encourage good vibes lifestyle, raise your vibration. Uh, and specifically this week, my tip is to movement, whatever kind of movement you want, just do it. And do it like every hour. Make it a point to move and see if that helps you to be a little bit more productive, to get some better ideas on how to do things, to help solve some problems. Um, you know, it works. And I'd love to hear from you and see what kind of experiences you have if you apply this tip. All right, my friends. These will be short, just depending on what kind of comments I get and on, you know, how I'm vibing with energy. But I got to get to Lowe's, get some more soil for this peace garden. And as I um, get together, get it together, here I'll show you some pictures of some flowers from last year. And there's a bee. So the garden will start looking better. This is just the beginning. See all the dead stuff that has to be removed. This is the before picture, and you'll see the after picture as we go along. So, well, I hope you all have a great day. Remember to move, and I will give you my social media uh, handles here in case you want to follow me on any of those. So, please stay tuned, and thank you for watching. And remember to raise your vibe so you can thrive. Peace out, everybody. Peace out.